Today we are talking about internal versus external validation and why internal validation is so important and detaching from external validation is just as important. Okay, so first of all, let's just talk about what even is external validation versus internal validation. So, external validation are things like compliments, praise, somebody telling you you did a good job, when you get a 100 on a test or something like that, right? Feedback from the outside world that's telling you that you're doing a good job. Usually somebody like a teacher or a parent or your crush or somebody who you admire or want to like you. Could be anybody. You could just want everybody to like you. Somebody telling you something that sounds really good to hear, like that you did a good job or that you look really good today. External validation isn't always bad and it can be used for good. Like when we get complimented, it can feel really good. You're allowed to receive that, you're allowed to let that feel good. It's just that when we take that external validation and value it more than our internal validation, what you think of you, when what you think of you matters less than what other people think of you, that's when you're in trouble. Okay, let's do an example of using external validation for good. So it's not always a bad thing, right? We can use external validation for good. So sometimes I will clean my whole house when I have a friend coming over because I want my house to be clean for them. And it makes me feel good about myself. And there I go. I just clean my house because I have somebody coming over. And in that case, I'm anticipating and I'm caring what they're going to think about me, right? If I cleaned my whole house and was really mean to myself about it and said things like, "You dirty mess, what are you doing? Being disgusting," when you have people coming over, if I was mean to myself about it, then maybe that's not a good thing. But external validation isn't always bad. Here's an example from my life that I think people will relate to. So, clothing. The other day, I was getting dressed and I wanted to wear this outfit that was very me, very um not on par with bolder fashion, I would say. So bolder fashion, if you know, is very like casual, um outdoorsy, very functional. And I grew up in New York and I'm not saying I'm a fashion icon or anything, not even close. But I love to dress up. I love a theme. I love an over the top moment. And so, anyways, I wanted to wear this outfit that was very me and very not bolder fashion. And I was getting dressed and I like draped this scarf over my body and then I tied it in different spots and made it into a top and it was very cute. And I had these thoughts. I was thinking to myself, okay, Talia, it's a Tuesday. We don't need to be doing all of this. You're just going to meet your friend for coffee. You don't need to wear this. Just put on some jeans, right? So I had that thought of some judgment of what other people would think, of how what I wanted to do, what was most authentic to me, doesn't fit into the norm of what I imagine bolder fashion is. So instead of listening to those voices, because that's self judgment and mean, and I don't do that, I don't listen, I hyped myself up and said and was like, "No, Talia, you want to wear this outfit? Go for it, girl. Wear the outfit. Be you. You're going to love it. Like, do the thing that's a little scary, but that's very you and aligned. And practice that muscle of being courageous and doing the thing." So, I wear the outfit. I'm walking down the street and I feel self conscious. I feel myself tightening up. Like my breath is shallow. I'm walking fast. And so I tune into my system, my body, and I slow down my pace and I slow down my breathing and I deepen my breath and I relax into myself. I settle my energy down and I ground into my feet and the base of my spine. And I lean on my somatic anchors that I talked about in episode 1. And I just remind myself that it's all good, honey. Like I'm allowed to feel uncomfortable and I can just chill out. Like I can slow it down, can just relax a little bit. If I didn't have this established system for myself of how to deal with self judgment and really worrying what other people will think, which is always self judgment because we never know what other people are going to think. We make stories about what other people are going to think. So, if I didn't have a system for dealing with that, I may have changed my outfit and put on something that was for the purpose of making other people feel comfortable. Yes, it would make me feel comfortable maybe because I wouldn't have to be uncomfortable walking down the street thinking what other people think about me. But that kind of discomfort is the kind of discomfort that I welcome. The discomfort that comes with showing up as my authentic self and risking being vulnerable, being authentic, risking being judged and being seen for being really me. That's the kind of discomfort that I'm all here for. Let's talk about where internal validation comes in. So, hyping yourself up, that's internal validation. That's you reminding yourself who you are. Who you know that you are, not who other people say you are, not who you want other people to see you as, not who you think other people will see you as if you do something, who you are. I was just thinking back to this the other day. I said in my first episode, I'm a 24-year-old badass. I just think that's so funny that I said that to describe myself. But it's true. That's what I think of myself. And I want to encourage you all to say funny things like that about things like that, that when you say them out loud, it sounds a little ridiculous. You say, who am I to say this about myself? Freaking claim it, honey. Who's stopping you? Okay. I feel like before we even continue, we need to talk about your intuition and how you connect with your intuition. So here's what I want you to do. Close your eyes. If you're driving or walking or something, just you can do this in your mind or save it for later. Close your eyes. Tune your breath inwards. So take your focus, your attention from the external world where it just was when your eyes were open, and bring your attention back into yourself. Maybe there's a place in your body or in your mind's eye, an image that comes to you that you want to land on. For me, it's my heart. So you're welcome to turn your attention into your heart space. And when you're there, I want you to ask yourself, where does my intuition live? And listen for any little sensation that you feel in your body. Maybe you feel a little tingle, a little flicker, a little buzzing, or warmth. Just any little shifts. I want you to really notice those. When you ask that question, where's my intuition live? If you don't feel anything yet, that's okay. It takes practice. I'll give you a place where you can start. You might start at the base of your spine, your womb space, your low belly, your heart, the space right up below your heart at the top of your belly, You might tap into your third eye as a place where your intuition lives. It's really up to you, and you might mess around with it a lot before you figure out where the best spot is for you. Okay, so now that we've done that, I want you to just take note of what you noticed. If you noticed any sensations at all, if you heard any messages, if you felt more connected to your heart or less connected to your heart, any place in your body where you felt connected, just take note of it. Don't need. Now let's just imagine that that is the place where your intuition lives. So when you have moments of feeling unsure, moments of really feeling pulled to ask outside of yourself for the answer, I want you to first tap into that place where your intuition lives and just see what's there. A lot of times there will be something very clear there for you. I know for me, when I feel like I want other people's perspectives, it's usually because I know deep down what my truth is, but I'm not giving myself permission to let it be true. Or I'm scared of it for some reason because it would mean a a big change in my life, something bigger than I'm ready for, feeling ready for at the time, like a breakup or moving. A few years ago, when I was struggling with a decision, my decision was okay, do I stay with this partner or do I leave them? Like, I really love them and I love our life together. But I'm feeling pulled to be on my own. I feel pulled to something else. And it was a feeling that didn't really make logical sense. And so, to anybody on the outside who I would explain the situation to, right, they could give me a number of different pieces of advice or perspectives. But what I really knew to be true was that I wanted something new. I wanted a change. I was just really scared of what that meant. It was the first time I would be on my own in a new city, and we were living together at the time, so it would mean moving or figuring out different housing, and all of that change was in the middle of my school semester, and it just felt scary to actually admit the truth that I wanted that change. And so I did what I did, which was ask everybody and search feverishly for some answer that could soothe me, basically, because I didn't want it to be true what I knew to be true. So I say this to say that usually when there's an answer that our intuition gives us that's different than what we want, than what we think we want, it creates this frenzy of, oh my gosh, I must figure out something else. It can't be this. So I need to ask somebody to give me a different answer. That different answer is never going to satisfy you because your heart is telling you something else. It can be so scary to start trusting yourself when you haven't listened for so long. But that voice inside you, your intuition, your internal validation system, knows what you need. It knows best. It knows better than you think it does. Because it might not make sense right now what it's telling you to do. Like if you're in a really stable relationship and you have housing, maybe he's great. Maybe you go on like amazing vacations and get to experience all these cool things because you're in this relationship. And it seems like the perfect thing for you. It seems like just what you wanted. there's something in you that is telling you, "Mm, time to go somewhere else, time to switch it up." I have learned that that voice is never gonna quiet down until you listen to it. So here's what I want you to do. Next time you feel that impulse to ask everybody in your life what they would do if they were you, when you're searching for the answer outside of you, and the next time that you start to create a story about what other people will think of you, I want you to connect in to yourself. Connect in to a place. It can be anywhere. Maybe you have a place in your house where you feel most connected to you. Maybe you go and stand in front of the mirror and look yourself in the eyes and you say, "Girl, we're not doing this today." "Honey, look at me when I tell you this. I love you and you're doing fine." Whatever it is that you know you need to hear, let yourself say it to yourself. Whatever it is that you're hoping other people will tell you, maybe you really feel like you need somebody to tell you that you just look gorgeous today because you're feeling a little insecure. Hello, tell that to yourself and really receive it and start to flex the muscle of being the giver and the receiver of your own energy, of your own kindness, your own love. So if you find yourself fishing for compliments or needing words of affirmation from somebody, you can give that to yourself. And actually, if you're not giving that to yourself, if you're not receiving that from yourself, the chances of you actually being able to receive that compliment from somebody else are really low. If you're not feeling beautiful, mamacita, if somebody tells you that you look beautiful, mamacita, how much are you going to let that in? Like, actually in. But if you're walking around knowing that you're beautiful, mamacita, because you tell yourself that every day, you have your internal validation system on lock, then when somebody tells you that you're beautiful, it just hits different. And it's not that you need their validation. The validation from others will turn into confirmation. A confirmation of what you already know and what you're already telling yourself. Instead of using what other people tell you as a way to measure how much you should love yourself, how much you should keep going or not keep going, you will just hear those messages and let them be a reminder, a confirmation. Other people's opinions and other people's praise and validation, or the opposite, other people's criticisms will turn from the fuel that you use to keep going and turn into reminders and little sweet things that just get to add to your inner sense of validation. It's not the make or break anymore. For me, internal validation is really connected to the Empress in tarot. The Empress, and you can use this archetype even if you don't vibe with tarot. So the Empress archetype, she's like a powerful badass queen, right? She is somebody who sits on her throne in her gown and her robes, and she is a clear channel. She is so connected to her inner knowing that she doesn't hesitate, she doesn't wait, she just knows what she needs to do and she does it. There's a lot of clarity and simplicity here. She is just powerful because she doesn't overdo it. She doesn't do too much. She knows that her worth is not measured by what people think of her. She doesn't really spend a lot of time thinking about what other people think of her. She's quiet. When I say she's quiet, I mean her mind is quiet. Okay. So I think about the Empress a lot. And in the past few days, I've been pulling the Empress. And I really, really have. I have been on this journey of contacting my internal system of validation and detaching more and more from external validation. And this has been so helpful to me to go after my goals. Not only am I practicing detaching from what other people might think of me and all the stories that I create about that, I'm also connecting more with myself and my worth as something that is innate and inherent and something that I decide about. Nobody else gets to tell me who I am, what is best for me, what is right for me. Nobody else knows that. Nobody knows better than you know what's best for you. Nobody. No matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, no matter what your situation is, nobody knows what's best for you better than you do. And it might feel scary to really step in to this knowing, this ownership of responsibility of I know what's best for me because it means that you can't mess around anymore. It means that if you're currently in situations that you know are not best for you, it means that you need to stop ignoring that knowing. Remember that story that I told of a few days ago when I put on that outfit and heard the thought of, oh, it's just Tuesday, just put on some jeans, whatever. I want to highlight what I did in that moment to cultivate that inner sense of validation so that I could feel confident showing up as different as somebody who's standing out and as me. So I recognized the thoughts of judgment and I chose not to believe them. I chose to counter them with thoughts like, I wear whatever the heck I want, whenever I want, and I look damn good too. Now, I don't know if that's exactly the thought that I had, but something along those lines that really hypes me up and reminds me of who I am, the free will that I have, what I actually want to do, which is, yes, what's most authentic to me, and doing it and hyping myself up along the way. And best believe that when I made it to town, I got compliments. It was actually so cute. I was walking by this house, and the husband and wife were out gardening and at different points of the house. So I crossed the husband's path first, and he said, "You look lovely today." I was, "Oh, thank you." And then I saw the wife a few feet in front of me, and she gave me the same compliment. They didn't hear each other. She said, "You look lovely today." And it was so sweet because I could tell that they were very much on the same wavelength in their relationship because they both gave me the same compliment that I look lovely. It was very sweet. But if I was to be reliant on that external validation, I would have felt self conscious the whole entire time up until that point that I got that compliment. And I wouldn't have even been able to fully receive that compliment. I would still be in the self doubt because relying on the external validation never works to actually make you feel good about yourself. Do to your self image? What does it tell you? Changing something about yourself. So, if I were to change my outfit that day, I would be telling myself that who I am and what I want to wear is not okay. It's not acceptable, and I need to change. That's not a story I want to tell myself. I want to tell myself the story that when I show up as the most authentic version of me, I am lovely. Yes, people notice, and that's beautiful. I'm modeling what it is to be different and to stand out, and that's beautiful. That's the story I want to tell myself about when I show up authentically me. I don't want to tell myself the story that I can't do that because fill in the blank. Somebody's going to have something to say about it. And yes, that happens. We're constantly being criticized or told that who we are is not okay. And there are some people who really hear that message on a daily basis from people who are their family, who in the same sentence will say, I love you and I support you. And in the very next breath, say, I just don't understand why you are who you are and do what you do. That's not okay. And that's why it's so important to cultivate this inner sense of validation. So that when you're in the face of somebody telling you that who you are is not okay with them, you can come back to yourself and remind yourself that that has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with them. And actually, who you are is okay with you. And that's what matters. That's what matters. As long as you're you and you're not hurting anybody, you're good. And you get to feel that. You get to remind yourself that every day. Who else is going to do it? Yes, you might get compliments or praise or reminders from other people, but who else is going to have your back every day but you? In your experience, for as long as you live. You might come back, reincarnate, but you're not going to be the same character that you're playing in this life. So you get to learn how to love it. As hard as it may be, as many times as you've been told that you are unlovable, you get to learn how to love it. It's how you talk to yourself. It's saying, I love you, girl, because you mean it. It's not thinking about what people will think of you, because of course that thought comes up, but it's about what you do next that matters. Do you let that thought influence and change your behavior? Do you let that thought come in and do you act on it? Do you say, oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, they probably will be weirded out if I show up in this outfit, so I'll put jeans on? Or do you recognize that that thought is just self judgment? And do you call yourself out on it and do the thing anyways? And do you cheer yourself on? Do you come back to you and remind yourself to relax into the discomfort? If nothing, if you accomplish nothing else in your life but learning how to love yourself, you've done it. It is so foundational. When you love yourself, you have so much space and love to give others. And so, learning to love yourself is so foundational for doing anything. Yes, we can accomplish amazing things without loving ourselves. Hell yeah. I'm sure many people have. But the quality and the soul that's in those accomplishments goes up infinitely, exponentially, when your heart and your love for yourself and for other people is in it. I really, really love you all, and I really want you all to hear that you get to be so loved. And if people in your life are not showing up for you and loving you the way that you need, the way that you want, I'm so sorry that that's what you've experienced so far. And it's not a reason for you to skimp out on loving yourself and showing up for yourself. You get to take on the role of being your own best friend, your own cheerleader, your own coach, your own star athlete, your own lover, your own mom, your own dad, your own best friend, your own big sister, your own brother. You get to be all of that for you. Now I'm going to read a poem that I wrote May 9th, 2025 at 11:07 a.m. Sometimes you just know things. What do you call this knowing? Channeling? Source? Internal compass? My knowing is effing powerful. It is never wrong. When I listen to my knowing, I am the queen of my throne, the empress. I feel my channel is clear and my center is spacious. My head is empty, my heart is expansive. And there's a pull pulling me forward and a push at my back, supporting me along my path. I see clearly when I follow my knowing, even if it does not yet make sense to my mind and I do not yet have any words. I see clearly. I know what I'm doing. Like how I knew the Scorpio full moon is on May 12th. I just had a feeling. Do you ever just have a feeling? I dare you to follow it. Trust it. Let it be your guide. Just once, let the Empress come down and lead you. And I hope that you heard this today and felt inspired to be kind to yourself, to be loving on yourself, to call yourself a beautiful mamacita. I don't know where that came from. I am not Hispanic. And I'm sure you could tell that I'm not Hispanic by the way I said mamacita. Okay. I hope that you give yourself, oh my gosh, goddess treatment today. Compliment yourself, validate yourself, encourage yourself, be your own cheerleader, be your own hype woman. That's what this is really all about. All right, bring it back to that. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm so happy that you're here and I would love to stay connected with you. So you're welcome to follow me on social media. It's my name. And you're also welcome to email me. It's my name at gmail.com. And I would love to hear your voices. Tell me your wins. Tell me about a time that you listened to your inner knowing and trusted it more than the outside voices and opinions. And I would love to hear from you. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.